The music that emanates from the gramophone spills out of the flat of the typist into the city of London. The opening line of the stanza, "This music crept by me upon the waters," is an allusion to the Tempest of William Shakespeare. In Act 1, Scene 3 of The Tempest, Ferdinand hears the music played by Ariel upon the orders of Prospero. And Ferdinand is, you must remember, marooned on the magic island of Prospero. The streets of London are mentioned, and these streets include the Strand, Queen Victoria Street, and Lower Thames Street. O city, city, the city is of course the city of London, where much of the narrative of the wasteland is cited. The mandolin is a musical instrument similar to the lute. Fishmen are not fishermen. Please don't confuse fishmen and fishermen. Fishmen are workers who sell fish or work preparing fish before cooking. The stanza ends with some beautiful lines. Where the walls of Magnus Mater hold inexplicable splendor of Ionian white and gold. Magnus Mater. The Church of Magnus Mater is an Anglican church in London. It was built under the supervision of the architect Christopher Wren. In the notes that he wrote to the Wasteland, T.S. Eliot explains that he considers the interiors of Magnus Mater Church one of the finest interiors created by Christopher Wren. Where the walls of Magnus Mater hold inexplicable splendor. Inexplicable means that which cannot be explained, that which cannot be accounted for. It is a fact that the interiors of Magnus Mater Church are spectacular. Inexplicable splendor of Ionian white and gold. Ionian can be interpreted in a rather general way as Greek or Hellenic. In the notes that T.S. Eliot attached to the Wasteland, he explains that there was at that time a proposal to demolish the church. There is a lot of semantic significance that is conveyed by the stanza. One is that the solution to the problem of the wasteland. And the problem is basically a problem of moral degeneration, spiritual death, ethical decadence. The solution to this problem perhaps lies in the Magnus Mater Church. Perhaps religion is the key to solving the problem of the wasteland. Secondly, as Eliot points out in his notes, there was a proposal to demolish this beautiful church with its spectacular interiors, indicating how much the Magnus Mater Church was out of place in post Great War Britain, how much the Magnus Martyr Church had no place in the Europe, in the Britain of the 1920s. Thus, there are 2 points that are made by T.S. Eliot. One, the solution to the crisis of the wasteland is perhaps offered by religion, by Christianity, by the Magnus Martyr Church. Two, the proposal to demolish this beautiful church clearly indicates how much the ethos of the wasteland is antithetical to the religion which alone can offer it salvation. I would like to add that T.S. Eliot was not the first writer to mention Magnus Martyr. Several writers before Eliot have done that, and these writers include Daniel Defoe, who mentions Magnus Martyr Church in A Journal of the Plague Year, and Charles Dickens, who speaks of Magnus Martyr in Oliver Twist. There is an abrupt shift as the song of the Thames Daughters begins. The three Thames daughters of the wasteland invite comparison with the three nymphs whom Edmund Spenser comes across on the morning of the twin wedding that is celebrated by Prothalamion, and also the three Rhine daughters in Wagner's musical drama Thus Rain Gold. However, the song of the Thames Maidens reveals that they are very unlike the nymphs that Edmund Spenser happens to meet. The song of the Thames Maidens is a lament. They lament the pollution of the Thames, the destruction of the Thames. The Thames is no longer the sweet Thames that Edmund Spenser spoke of. It no longer runs softly. It is polluted. It sweats oil and tar. It is congested. It is filled with barges and logs. The song also speaks of Elizabeth and Leicester. Elizabeth is, of course, Queen Elizabeth I, one of the most iconic figures in English history. And Leicester is Robert Dudley, 1st Earl of Leicester, who was the Queen's favourite courtier. It was alleged that there was a romantic relationship between Queen Elizabeth and the Earl of Leicester. However, the romantic relationship offers a contrast to the relationship between the female typist and the clerk, for example. Queen Elizabeth is known as the Virgin Queen. However passionate the romance between Elizabeth and Leicester was, the lovers knew where to stop. The contrast that the poet seems to be working out is between Queen Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen, and the female typist who is ready to have sexual intercourse with any man at the drop of a hat. The song mentions a case of copulation on the floor of a narrow canoe, and the humiliation that the woman feels after it. The man weeps and promises a new start. The woman makes no comment. Why should she resent? The spotlight is turned on the relationship between man and woman, man and woman in contemporary Europe, and the relationship is mechanical, mercenary, and meaningless. Margate Sands is mentioned. Margate Sands is a place of great autobiographical significance for T.S. Eliot because it was precisely at Margate Sands that T.S. Eliot's first wife, Vivian, conducted an affair with that great philosopher and great sexual predator Bertrand Russell. It was in Margate Sands that T.S. Eliot was betrayed by his wife. Dirty hands are mentioned, the broken fingernails of dirty hands. It appears to the speaker that the hands of the wastelanders are not at all clean. The fingers, the fingernails are broken, the hands are dirty, and nothing can be connected with nothing. What can be met with is disjunction, division, dichotomy,